They were great men. Yes, great men there were in strange lands. It was never easy for them becoming what they became. They encountered difficult experiences and found themselves in unpleasant situations. They had every reason to stagger by the reason of the situations they confronted. But no, they held on. They held on until they emerged. And for many years, their stories are read of and told. Even generations to come will hear and know of them. They were men of virtue, men of prayers, full of courage and were devoted. They were bounded by God's presence. They consecrated themselves, paid prices, and made difficult sacrifices. They were men with clean records and they emerged faultless. Even unbelievers saw them and testified that God was with them, for they reverenced and feared God. Their knowledge of Him will not let them bow to anything or anyone, even in the face of death. They would die for what they knew and the God they served. In the face of trials, tests, and temptations, they stood strong and did not fall. Oh, Joseph, hated and sold out by his brothers, taken to Egypt, he became a servant. The Egyptian's household was blessed because of his presence. Tempted by Potiphar's wife, he would not fall because he did not want to sin against his God. Thrown into prison for not succumbing, he was there for some years. Interestingly, everywhere he went, even in prison, he was placed above. Blessed with the ability to interpret dreams, he interpreted Pharaoh's dream, and that became the platform that launched him onto greatness. He who was once a shepherd boy, slave, servant, and prisoner became governor in a strange land. Daniel and his three friends, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, all from Judah but exiles in Babylon, selected to serve in the royal courts by Nebuchadnezzar's order. They were trained and given the royal meal, but no, these four would not eat. They knew their origin and would not let themselves be defiled by the king's meat. No wonder they were exceptional. They stood out amongst the other young men from Israel who were also selected but were never heard of. Despite conspiracies made against them, they never compromised or reduced their standards. They presented and represented God in a foreign land. Blessed with the ability to interpret dreams, Daniel would not do so without presenting God to these foreign people. And the people gave God a name through their lives. He was called the God of Belteshazzar, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. God placed before them platforms and opportunities for promotion, which all came after they had passed their trials. They were given strategic offices in government, the government of a foreign land. And in case you think it was only males who became great in strange lands, I present to you Esther, an orphan, an exile in Susa. She was a lady with listening ears, always ready to follow the instructions of those placed above her till she emerged queen. She stood strong and did not mind dying to defend her people in the face of trial until their enemies were destroyed. She became a heroine, an authority whose words carried power. Oh, how can I forget? I will not forget Mordecai, Esther's cousin, who adopted her, followed her up until she became queen, and even afterwards. Standing by his conviction, he was faced with Haman, and never giving up, he became second in rank to the king and worked for the good of his people and the security of all their descendants living in a strange land. Now to you I say, where have you found yourself? Where has God placed you? Where is your own strange land? What stories will be told of you when you are gone? What will generations to come remember you for? What will you be willing and ready to give up to stand out? What has God given or placed in you to be a solution and an answer to the problems and questions of men? What name will men call God through your life? What is your knowledge of God like? How much do you know about Him to keep you standing in the face of trials and even death? What circumstances have befallen you? Can you not see? Can't you see that they are but stepping stones to your greatness? What is keeping you down? Why have you not risen? What are your excuses? Bring them on, and I will tell you that for Joseph, Daniel and his 3 friends, Esther and Mordecai, it was not their land, not their place, it was not their nation. They were not there by desire, they were captives on exile. However, God permitted it, and even when they had and found the opportunity to enjoy and have pleasure, they would not, because they were God's ambassadors, representatives of his kingdom. Quit giving excuses, for it is time. It is time to seek to know the Lord, for it is those that do know their God that shall be strong and do exploits. Rise above limitations and unpleasant circumstances. Represent and present God in your jurisdiction. It is time to be an answer and a solution. Arise, for greatness beckons.